Manglehorn, which is a new film starring Al Pacino. A thought experiment that I kind of apply to Al Pacino films at the moment is how far can you get into the film until the main character might as well be played by Rob Brydon? Because, this idea that Pacino has become this slight caricature of himself in recent times, films like Danny Collins and Righteous Kill, he just feels like he's sleepwalking through it. Manglehorn is something different, or at least it tries to do something different. It's a film by a director called David Gordon Green, who's had this incredibly weirdly varied career. He started out as a disciple of Terrence Malick with these kind of noodly little rural dramas.
Yeah.
Then went into kind of very brash stoner comedy with Pineapple Express and Your Highness. And then is now started making these wistful, low-key character studies with actors that you may not necessarily expect to take them. He did Prince Avalanche with Paul Rudd, and he did Joe with Nicolas Cage. I think Joe was a real sort of a let's try and keep Nicolas Cage as far on the straight and narrow as possible film. It was a very worthwhile film doing. Manglehorn doesn't quite achieve that. You've got Pacino playing this former children's baseball coach who's turned locksmith, and his life has his emotional life has ground to a halt. He's totally hung up on a previous relationship he had with a woman called Clara, who he writes letters to, very flowery and very effusive letters every day. And these letters, as we see in the opening title sequence, are all being returned, stamped "returned to sender." So there's this emotional blockage in his life. He has a bad relationship with his son, who's played by Chris Messina, who is some kind of a nasty business guy who is not particularly proud of. He also has a cat called Fanny who has got some kind of illness, who keeps getting stuck in cupboards and things. And basically, the gears of life have just got gummed up. And here he is talking to his son.
Now what happened? You got everything you wanted, yeah? Your nice houses, you got your nice fancy cars, all those fancy people. And what happened to you? Turned you into a shark and a liar. That's what it did for you. I'm just telling you like it is. I'm no saint, believe me. I'm just being honest with my son.
I'm asking for help, Dad.
Help? What kind of help? I got a pull-out sofa in the house. You want that? You want to stay here?
I don't want your sofa. You know what I want? It would be great if you could be a father.
What is that?
How about that? Could be okay, Jacob. It's gonna be good, Jacob. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Is that what being a dad is?
Yeah.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
And it's okay, basically. So it's one of these symbolic career films. He's a locksmith. He's great at opening things up for other people, but of course his own heart is kept away under lock and key. There is one bright spot in his life, which is every Friday he goes to the bank and talks to this pretty teller called Dawn by Holly Hunter. The name obviously very, very symbolic. The career is symbolic. The name of Dawn is very symbolic. This is a film that just piles on symbols. There's keys, locks, of course. There's constipated cat as well. There's an old boat in there. There's a beehive. And all this time it's like, it's a beehive, but it's the beehive within. Or, it's a constipated cat, but it's the constipated cat within. And, this is kind of, it's a fine premise to do a character study like this. But the problem with the film is it's all premise. There's not really a lot of progression in the film. Not a lot happens in Manglehorn's life. He just kind of stumbles around from one awkward social encounter to the next. Of course, as Dawn kind of slowly works her feminine magic on her, and goodness knows why, because he's not a particularly nice person, but she kind of sticks with him. She sees a good soul in there and sticks with him. It's one of these things that, the script is written by first-timer Paul Logan. It feels very first-timey, as I said. These voiceovers with the letters are very, very flowery. And it just feels also slightly in awe of its co-star. As I said before, the Nicolas Cage film that he did, Joe, very, very much was like, let's embrace Nicolas Cage's best characteristics and make this work. This is just like, oh my goodness, it's Al Pacino. They have him repeating lines from Heat and from Scarface as well. It just feels slightly too in awe of him. He looks ready to do a good performance, but the film won't draw it out of him, which is very exasperating.
I really enjoyed watching him in this film, and I think for a while it's the first thing I've enjoyed watching him, and he's really kind of pulled me through it as well. And I don't know, we've been talking about coming of age films earlier on, and I just kind of like the whole notion of it not being really kind of anything apart from almost like a coming of age film from a man of his age, and kind of be about loneliness and about how he kind of approaches that on different levels, kind of family related relationships, his pets and these things that are surrounding him and stuff. I found it a really kind of lovely experience watching it, actually.
I think purely because it is that kind of turned down performance that we've not seen from him for a very,
Yeah.
very long time. There is pleasure to be had in that. It's just, for me, it's so exasperating that the film didn't live up to it because, David Gordon Green has made great films before. And Joe, which I wasn't wildly blown away by, but I think it was just one of those, not a career rescuing film, but something that reminds you why you love an actor. Nicolas Cage did that film, and he did it in a way that no other actor could have done, and this just kind of doesn't feel like it embraces the potential of Al Pacino because it's slightly too in awe of having him on set.